We'll enjoy this hike together, and then we will see where the day takes us. I'm really struggling with the seasonal transition this spring. I probably should talk about this in another video, but we'll just spit this idea out. As long as my brain is the way it is, this is going to help. That just because I'm struggling, it doesn't mean I'm failing. Hello, and good morning, and welcome to a new vlog. Welcome if you're new here. Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm a full-time university writing instructor and a part-time content creator and indie author. Welcome back if you're one of my lovely returning friends. It is great to have you all here today. Welcome to Friday. It has been such a nice week, but it has been a long week and yet also a fast week. So it's been very busy, and I just feel like I've had a million things to do, and I am now exhausted. I could not wake up this morning. My alarm went off at 5, didn't get out of bed until 6. Like, I was awake, but I just kept dozing, which I set my alarm for 5 with the intention of getting out of bed between 5:15 and 5:30 at the latest. And I've been doing that for most of the week. But today, it was not going to happen. But I have managed to still get myself up and out of bed and dressed in time to get out here to the park for a sunrise hike. Sun's not up yet, but it's getting there. I'm keeping an eye on the ridge line. It's very bright and glowy, but so far no sun. It's also very hazy today. It's not a very thick haze, but there's like a hazy filter. It's like a blur filter almost over everything. I can see it looking out west. The sun is hitting out there. I don't think it's going to show up on camera, but like it's just not as bright as it normally is. So I can see where the daylight is reaching now, but so we'll see what kind of a sunrise we actually get, but it should be lovely regardless. So I am excited to be out here. I'm excited to share this hike with you because I love sharing my hikes with you all. And I know a lot of you really enjoy the hikes as well. And then through some shifting things on my calendar, I have a fully free Friday. This hike is the only thing I have to leave my apartment for, and I have no other errands. I ended up going to Whole Foods yesterday instead of today. Mom and I had to go separately, and I was actually going to be passing by Whole Foods yesterday, so I thought I'll just go yesterday and not go again today. So that frees up a lot of time on my schedule. So I've got some work to do teaching wise, but I've been doing really well with that. So that won't take me the full day either. So I think we're gonna have a lot of time later this afternoon. I still have no idea what this vlog is going to be. By the time you are watching the intro, hopefully I will have told you what this vlog will be, but as I am filming this, I have no idea what this vlog is going to be. So we're just gonna take it hour by hour, minute by minute. For right now, we're gonna go hiking, and then I will go home and get myself cleaned up and get some coffee or something and get settled at my desk and ready to get all the teaching work done for the day and for the week, and then we'll take it from there. But for now, I think the sun is starting to come up. It's still really hazy. I need to figure out which direction I'm gonna go because I'm at a point where I need to decide which direction on the trail I want to go, which loop or whatever I want to do today. So I will let you all enjoy the views and some nice relaxing music. We'll enjoy this hike together, and then we will see where the day takes us. Okay, it is not quite noon. It's later in the morning, not quite noon, and I have been working. It was such a lovely hike. It honestly was exactly what I am needing right now. The only downside, oops, pushing you all back a little bit so that hopefully the air conditioning is not, we just have to accept it. Air conditioning is going to once again be a noise factor in these vlogs, so apologies in advance. This is going to be our regular situation until November, if we're lucky. No, I'm hoping it is going to cool down next week a little bit, then it's going to warm up for good before we know it. So yeah, air conditioning noise is going to become a regular feature, but there's not much I can do about that because I cannot function without the air conditioning. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I love it. I love that it keeps me comfortable in here temperature-wise, but I don't like how noisy it is, and it's not really a good thing from like a YouTube standpoint. Anyway, my hike was lovely. It has been weird hiking this season though, because nothing is blooming out there. I know I've talked about this in the last few vlogs where we've gone hiking, but nothing is blooming. It is all just brown and dry and sad looking, and there's no wildflowers and nothing is really even that green. It's just sad. Like, it's just sad. And it feels like visually the desert looks more like it did at the beginning of winter. Like it hasn't changed. Normally I can tell the seasons are changing because the desert gradually changes between October, November, December, January, February. Like each of those months it looks a little bit different, and so you can kind of see and feel the passage of time based on how the desert is looking. And it looks the same as it did back in October when I first started hiking for the season. So it's messing with my head a bit more. Normally, and I was kind of talking about this in the email newsletter that went out this morning. Link to sign up to my newsletter is in the description box below. But I was talking about the seasons changing, and like I need a good like 2 months of it feeling like winter, and we never got like 2 months straight of winter. We'd get like a couple weeks and then it would warm up, and then it would cool down again for a couple weeks, and then it would warm back up. And it's been very up and down all winter long. We've had no rain, next to no rain. The little rain we got, I think it was too little too late. So it's not changing anything as far as the wildflowers and the green and the blue, and so it's not having any impact on the lack of wildflowers. Like there's still a severe lack of wildflowers out there. Yeah, it just, my brain is still feeling like it's October, November in terms of seasonal depression and like where I feel like I'm at with that, but it's just about March and it's about to start warming up for good, and my brain doesn't know what to do with that. And so I'm really struggling with the seasonal transition this spring, because it's hard for me to embrace spring when we never really got winter, and when so much outside doesn't look like spring. There are no wildflowers, nothing is green, everything still looks like it did at the end of summer and end of autumn. But like there is this feeling of the weather is warming up and hiking season is probably going to be coming to an end. I'm going to try, I think I can hike a little bit longer than I did last year because I'm waking up so early, and I think if I continue getting out there like at sunrise, I might be able to like keep hiking possibly even into May. Like I think throughout the entire semester I might be able to keep hiking. I think last year it was sometime in early April that I stopped, but I wasn't hiking, I wasn't getting out there before like 7:38 was like the earliest I was able to get out there. Now I'd be able to get out there as early as like 6, when I can actually wake up at 5 like I'm meant to, like I intend to. This morning was rare. I do normally manage to wake up fairly early, but every now and then, like this morning, I just could not. But generally, especially if I know I need to get out for a hike by 6 o'clock, I can wake up at 5. So I do think that's going to help me hike a little bit later this season, like later into the spring than usual. Like I'm starting to realize, I'm having to acknowledge that my hiking days are numbered for the season. And if I'm lucky, I hopefully will have another 8 weeks. If I can make it all the way through to the end of April, which I'm really hoping I can, then that's still like 8 weeks. So I'm well past the halfway point of this particular hiking season. And I don't know that like hiking in June, even at 5 in the morning, is going to be that possible. There's no shade out at the park. Whereas walking around my neighborhood, even when the temperatures get warmer first thing in the morning, like right at sunrise, and it's already warm at sunrise, in my neighborhood there's trees and stuff, and there's buildings, and when the sun is really low, the houses kind of block the sun a bit, and so I can still walk mostly in the shade if I'm getting out there like right at sunrise. So that's how I was able to keep walking and working out outdoors throughout all of last summer. But I needed to be in my neighborhood to be able to do that, to go out to the park and to be in full sun from sunrise when it's, 90 degrees the moment the sun comes up. That's a little bit difficult. So I'm going to try to hike for as long as I can, but I just in case, I'm like trying to enjoy every hike I go on, because it's not guaranteed that I'm going to get another hike. The temperatures could skyrocket next week, and then that's it. There's not much I can do about that. So I really am at the mercy of the weather and the seasonal changes, and I don't know. It's just, I feel like I'm talking in circles a bit, so I'm sorry, but that's how my brain is at the moment. I feel like I see so many signs that spring is coming. All the little signs of spring, like it's all spring flowers at the grocery store on display, and I'm seeing more spring type products, more stuff for Easter coming up and things like that. And the temperatures are warming up, and so that feels like spring. And the week after next, as I'm filming this, is spring break from work. So I'm getting ready to switch over all of the decor in my apartment and decorate everything for spring. Like I'm starting to think along those lines and prepare for spring. But when I go hiking, it doesn't look like spring. And it's messing with my head. But I'm trying to embrace spring, and I'm trying to just deal with and accept the seasonal changes. I think another reason why I'm struggling with it so much, and I also talked about this in the newsletter, is I'm dealing with so many transitions in my life right now. I've been dealing with so many transitions. There's a lot that's going on with my physical health. There's a lot that's going on with my mental health. We've been talking about that. We'll continue talking about that in the future. I've got more doctor's appointments coming up, so I'll keep you all updated. So like there's all of that, but then, with work, it's almost spring break, and then it's going to be summer break. And so I'm still, like, my brain still feels like it's the beginning of the semester, but it's going so fast. And so now it's almost spring break, and after spring break. Like on the one hand, I'm really excited for spring break, and I'm excited for a week off. On the other hand, after spring break, I pick up 2 more classes. So I normally teach 5 classes each semester, but we do shortened sessions. So we have one session that's the full 15 weeks long, 16 weeks long. It's 16 weeks, and then we've got spring break in the middle. And then we have a first half session and a second half session. And so I'm teaching 3 classes right now that are the full 16 weeks. But then I'm going to have 2 classes that will start the week after spring break, the Monday after spring break ends, that will be the second half of the session. and they're both online, so it doesn't change my daily schedule as far as going to classes, but it's going to be a lot of grading. And in some ways it's like teaching 4 new classes on top of my 3 existing classes, because they're still doing 16 weeks or 15 weeks worth of work in 7.5 weeks. You know, they're going to be turning in twice as many assignments each week. Each week is worth 2 weeks in a normal full-length session. So the volume of grading for me is going to more than double, basically, from what I am currently doing. And I am already struggling with what I'm currently doing and with how my brain is feeling at the moment. I just really worry. Like, the one saving grace is the class that I'm picking up 2 sections of. It's my baby. It's the class I've taught the most. It's the class I feel the strongest in. It's my business writing class. I can teach that class blindfolded with my hands tied behind my back. I know that class backwards and forwards. It's really hard for me to stumble in that class. That being said, knock on wood, I'm stumbling over the littlest things at the moment, so we'll see. But again, it's an online class, so it's more like lecturing that I'm struggling with at the moment. So I think like being in a classroom is what I'm struggling with. So I think with the online class it should be okay. But the grading is, I'm already overwhelmed and intimidated by how much grading I'm going to have starting after spring break. So like, that's a huge transition. And to have that at the same time that the weather is going to be warming up and the air conditioning is coming on, and my seasonal depression, I feel like it never fully went away because we never really got a proper winter. And so I just feel like my seasonal depression is going to instantly come back. As soon as the temperatures get above 90 degrees, I just feel like it's going to be, my brain is going to be in full on summer panic mode. And I'm not looking forward to that. I'm really not looking forward to that. And normally I feel like it's a more gradual ramping up to the seasonal depression across the spring, because my brain has had that like full reset over winter. But it's going to be really interesting to see how I do without having had that full reset this year like normal. I don't know. I want to be excited about spring. I want to be excited about a new season. I'm looking forward to decorating over spring break and fixing up my apartment a bit. But it is just, there's a lot in my head that I'm thinking of. So I think one of the things I want to do in this vlog and later today, after I'm done with teaching work for the day, which won't take me that much longer, I want to do some planning. I think I want to set up my brain dump notebook for March, because March is tomorrow. I want to do some like reflecting, journaling for February, just do some brain dumping onto a page, set up this planner as well for March, just start jotting down, brain dumping things I want to work on in March, things I want to work on over spring break, but also like maybe make a fun list of like fun things and relaxing things I want to do, writing down some books I want to try to read in March, like a book reading list for the month. And yeah, just start, I think I need to make a list in the planner, in the brain dump planner, of things I'm looking forward to for the summer, spring, summer, and with the weather warming up, and just things that will, like a list that I can refer back to whenever the seasonal depression starts to really flare up. I can look back at that list and see, okay, but here's some things that I really only do during the summer that make me happy, and let's pick one of these things to do. So yeah, so I want to do some planning and some like light goal setting and talk about some plans for March and some plans for spring, and like from now to the end of the semester we'll do a big like summer plan video when the semester is done. But yeah, planning, journaling, reflecting, brain dumping, talking about all of that. I think that's going to be the focus of the rest of this vlog. But for now, I've got a bunch of letters of recommendation for a student that I need to submit. I just saw a ton of links hit my inbox, so I want to get that done,
wrap up my email for the week. I've already wrapped up a lot of the grading for the week. So I think I will be finishing work a good few hours early this week because of not going to Whole Foods today and stuff. I've just managed to get a much earlier start than usual. So we're going to take advantage of that to be able to spend the rest of the afternoon doing some planning and some cover sketching. It is now later in the afternoon. I've finished work for the day and I've taken a bit of a break on the couch. I almost fell asleep. I am just so tired today. Like, I didn't think this week had been that long and intense, but I guess it has. Anyway, I am done with work. So all that's left that really needs to be done. So I want to do some planning and I need to do my cover sketching. Given what time it is, it's just about 3 o'clock. I don't think I'm going to get as much done for the cover as I thought, but I can still make a good amount of progress. So I'm going to try to do at least 30 minutes of cover sketching in a little bit, but I really want to do some planning first. So I want to get March starting to be set up. I don't do a whole lot of monthly planning in this planner. This is my planner from Anthropologie. I don't do a whole lot of monthly planning in this one, but I like this one for weekly planning. To be able to see my whole week on a 2-page spread like this, to be able to have it flipped back on itself on my desk so I can always see like that day's plan and that day's task list. So this is where I put my like task list for each day. So I want to make sure I've started, I believe I started. Yes, I've already started setting up next week. So I want to finish doing that because I've been trying to do my planning for the next week by end of day of Friday. So taking some time at the end of the afternoon on Friday before I log off of everything, I like to have my planner set up. That way I can just enjoy the weekend. I feel like it's common to plan your next week on Sunday, and I can see how for some people that would be a really nice Sunday routine to get your planner, your notebook, whatever you use, sit down and just plan out your week. I try to do as little work as possible over the weekend, and even with YouTube and book stuff, when I'm doing work on the weekend, it tends to be bigger things like edit a vlog or write X number of words or edit X number of chapters or pages of chapters. It tends to be big stuff. And so I don't need to do a whole lot of planning for the weekend, because even with working on YouTube and writing part-time, like as my part-time job, I try to do as much of that work during the week as possible. So content planning, scheduling, like creating content, creating an Instagram post, taking pictures to use on Instagram, writing my newsletter for my email list, doing any kind of book marketing or YouTube marketing, all of that I try to do during the week. So that on the weekend, I'm only doing 1 to 3 hours of work each day, and I try not to do more than like 4 to 5 hours total across both Saturday and Sunday. So like if I do 3 hours on one day, I'm probably only doing like around 1, maybe 1.5 hours on another day. And like right now I'm in the middle of working on, I'm done writing, but I'm not yet editing the next book project. So right now on the weekends, it really is vlog editing. That's the main thing I spend my weekends doing. It's a little bit harder to reduce how much time I'm spending working on the weekends when I have vlogs to edit and I'm writing or editing a book. So that's when it can be a little bit longer. But like I will try to do as much vlog editing during the week as I can, because I try to always be filming a little bit ahead. I try to leave time to do some editing during the week, so I'm not spending the whole weekend editing YouTube videos. But that is something that tends to happen. But it's usually those like 1 or 2 or 3 big tasks. It's not a bunch of little tasks. So I can plan out all the little tasks for the next week on a Friday. I don't have to wait until Sunday to do that, because the weekend just kind of exists outside of the Monday through Friday. So I want to get the rest of next week planned in my weekly planner. I want to get the March page in the weekly planner set up. I want to get my brain dump journal. So this is the other planner I've been using. I've been really liking using this. Number one, I feel really proud that I'm actually using one of my notebooks, because I feel like I buy notebooks and then never use them. But it ended up working out really, really well for February. I have a selection of pages, including some that are still blank, at the beginning of the notebook, as I get ideas for things that are relevant to more than 1 month. So like I've got 2025 goals and dreams, all the stuff I want to do, and then that's broken up into life, work, YouTube, and writing. Then I've got website redesign plans, because I really want to redo my website. I've got a place for blog post ideas, because yes, I still intend on restarting some sort of blog. I'm still debating, do I do it on my website or do I do Substack? But then I also am thinking about doing a Patreon for my writing more than for YouTube. I really want to, I probably should just talk about this in another video, but we'll just spit this idea out. Someone had the idea, I think a couple of people kind of had similar ideas, and I've been thinking of this too, of writing short scenes, bonus chapters, like not even full chapters, but truly just like bonus scenes of all of my existing books and all of my existing characters, just to give you all who like the books and like these characters a little bit more of them, just so you can see more of their lives after their books have ended. And I thought about putting that into the newsletter, and I might still do some in the newsletter, but I was also thinking of putting those behind a small, like low paywall of either Substack or Patreon. I need to look into those options. I need to see how that would work, and I need to see what is the lowest I would be able to set that like monthly subscription fee or whatever, because I don't want to charge a ton. And I think eventually, if I get enough of these scenes, I probably would publish them as like just a supplemental book or something, so people could then buy a printed copy or an ebook copy of them eventually down the road. I'm trying really hard to find ways of earning more income, but doing so in a way that is monetizing my content and not monetizing my audience. And so things like, another suggestion that has been made is signing up for something like the Buy Me a Coffee type. There's a few different programs that do that. That to me feels like monetizing my audience, that I'm just expecting you to give me something. And you can let me know if you have a different perspective on it. But doing bonus written content, which I think would be a little bit easier for manage than bonus video content, which is why I'm thinking of a Patreon for me as a writer and not as a YouTube content creator. But doing something like that feels like then it's monetizing the content. I am creating bonus material and charging a small fee each month for you to read it, but you are getting something in exchange for that, if that makes sense. So yeah, I do have like blog post ideas, YouTube video ideas. I've got a bunch of YouTube video ideas. So those are some of the pages up at the front, but then I've been doing the monthly pages, and I didn't really do a whole lot for January. I didn't really use January. I think I just did January across like a few pages. I got this notebook set up very late in January, so I didn't do a lot for January, but I did use it quite a bit for February. I have started a good chunk of pages for February, and it's such a mishmash. Like, it's some brain dump, it's some lists, it's some stuff related to my birthday, it's some like journaling and reflecting, it's some notes for my upcoming doctor's appointments, it's some notes from one of the Skillshare courses that I did this month. So yeah, and there are still some blank pages. So like the Skillshare notes section I started, I will probably come back and fill up this blank page with other stuff related to Skillshare. I don't want to waste too many pages within this notebook, but I am going to start off with doing some end of the month reflective journaling, because that was kind of helpful when I did it as some end of the week reflective journaling. I'm not doing it every week, but I did do it at the end of January, and so I wanted to at least do an end of the month reflective journaling session. So I'm going to start with that and to finish up the pages for February, and then I'm going to set up March. So I'm going to do a little bit of work in both planners. I'm going to light a nice candle. I'm going to put on some nice relaxing music. I've got my water. Just going to make it super chill and cozy. Get some of the mess that's up here out of here and down onto some paper, and hopefully make it make a little bit more sense. It looks like such a mess, but at least the mess is on the page and not in my head. I got these stickers from Tamsin, and I'll show you the one for April. So they've got like a sticker that's a calendar grid for the month, and then a little like task list, to-do list for the month. And so I've been sticking those into the planner at the start of the month, and then as you can kind of see, I just circle certain dates and draw a line outward, and then just put what is happening on that date. So like I've got conferences coming up, spring break, some doctor's appointments, some other appointments, some deadlines, the spring equinox, or the vernal equinox as they would call it. Well, the spring equinox is coming up later this month. So I've set up the kind of monthly dashboard, which I don't want to show like too close, but I've got the calendar page with all the like deadlines, appointments that I currently have on my schedule for March. I've got my to-do list, which I've just got 3 things on there, and they're all 3 things that were on the list for February that are like rolling over. So I'm not adding anything else because I really want to get these 3 things done. So I need to finish prepping for my B-session class. That should be done by the end of next week. I want to finish the Independent Hearts cover illustration and get that scanned and imported into Photoshop. That should also be done by next week, by like this time next week, if not sooner. Ideally, I'd like to get it done by the end of this weekend, but if I need to take through next week, that's fine too, and it will still be done months sooner than if I had stuck to my original plan. And then I need to finish doing my tax prep, and I would like to do my taxes in March. They're not due until April 11th, I want to say is tax day. I might be wrong though, but sometime in April is when taxes are due. I'd like to get them done as soon as possible. I've already started. I did do some prep. I just didn't finish prepping everything, so I can't cross it off my list as far as tax prep is concerned. Yeah, so those are kind of my main tasks. Those are like the big 3 for March. Then I've got like some goals and intentions, which some are little things, like mindset things, like take things day by day, enjoy the little moments. Doesn't hurt to write those down. Then there's some small goals for YouTube and for book sales and like income goals and stuff. They're very small. They are based on what I've managed to accomplish this month, and most of them are either the same or slightly higher than what I accomplished in February, which is 3 days shorter than March will be, so fingers crossed. Before I start setting goals that are like significantly higher than the current month, I want to try to get to a point where I'm consistently achieving these lower goals, if that makes sense. So we'll see. Then I have a section of would like to do, and I'm really trying to challenge myself to switch up the phrasing of how I think about these things. So in addition to all my regular weekly tasks that have to get done, like writing the newsletters and publishing the vlogs and things like that, there are like little things I would like to do, but if I don't do them, or if I don't do them as much or as often or whatever, that's fine too. So I've got a list of just would like to do, and some of these things I think I will be able to do this month, so that'll be fun. And then books I want to read, I've started a list there. For February, I went back and did a list of all the books that I did read, which I read almost 6 books. I read 5 books, and then I started a 6th. So I'm not sure if I will finish that 6th book tonight. I don't think I will. I will finish it this weekend, and it'll just be kind of, since I feel like I'm not going to continue doing monthly book videos because I am slowing down on how much I read. I did a monthly video for January because I read 11 books in January. But like this month I read like 5.5. And if I read 5.5 next month, then that will be 11 books. And so then maybe at the beginning of April, I'll do just a books I've been reading lately that will cover everything I read in February and March. So yeah, I've got some books that I would like to sit down and read. And then I created another YouTube like monthly overview. So I did this for February and it worked out really, really well. So this is kind of what the February page looked like. So going down one side, I had all the days and the dates that I wanted to upload a video, including the 2 bonus days. And then I wrote down ideas and notes. Most of these I filmed, but one of them I didn't. So that has rolled over to March. So I have set up the page in March. So this will get filled in as I publish videos. I'll fill in what specific video went up on each of these days. But then I've got some notes and ideas for bonus videos, and then for vlog ideas. I do need to write down the 2 videos that, like this one I've already filmed, or I'm filming at the moment. So there will be a planning March. I can put an F for filmed next to it, and how I spent my birthday. That has also been filmed. Those will be the first 2 videos that go up on Monday and Wednesday, but like I needed to figure out what video I want to film this weekend, because there's going to be a bonus video going up on Friday. As you're watching this on Wednesday, there will be a bonus video on Friday. So yeah, I'm trying to be like, I've got my big list, and I did pull some things. I've got my big list at the front of the planner of just YouTube videos in general that I would like to film sometime this year. Just as I am a mood reader, I am a mood vlogger. I have so many ideas for vlogs and videos I would like to film, but if I'm not in the right headspace or in the right mood to film it, it's not gonna get filmed. So there are videos that like are just on my list and have been on my list for more than a month now, like 2 or 3 or even 4 months that it's been on my list that I haven't gotten around to filming yet because I just haven't been in the right place to film. Yeah, like this summer, I think there's going to be a whole series on reorganizing those bookshelves and reorganizing that bookshelf. And I honestly think that could be like 4 or even 5 videos. Like taking all the books off and dusting the shelves and organizing them into piles, decluttering and like unhauling some of the books. I can't keep all of them. I just cannot. Reorganizing them back onto the shelves and then doing a finished bookshelf tour for each bookshelf. But like I cannot film that until summer. I thought about spring break. It's not going to happen over spring break. There is no way I can do that over spring. It will take up my entire spring break. I honestly think it's going to take me about a week to do it. So like there's certain videos that I just know I can't film when I get the idea, but it's like, but I want to film it eventually. So now I have a place to write it all down. So yeah, I'm really liking this notebook so far. And like well, some of these are blank pages, but I'm filling it up. And I've taken those other stickers from Tamsin and I've stuck them into other pages. So they're all in here. They're all in here, as you can see. And I have gone through and used a sticky note to stick them all on the page so that they don't just fall out of the notebook, but also so that if there's something I want to remember for a certain month, so like for April, I've already written on the sticky note that I need to make my eye appointment, and I need to make that after April 12th because it was April 12th last year that I had my last eye exam. So for insurance purposes, I don't think I can have it before a full 12 months have gone by, but I don't want to forget that. So I'm using little sticky notes because I don't know that April will actually start on this page. It might start sooner, it might start later. So I don't want to just stick them down just yet and then have like blank pages at the end of a month that I didn't use up. So this means as I go through, I can just stick these down and start the month wherever I need to. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm feeling a little bit calmer, and I'm liking having the notebook because it gives me a little bit more space. There are some notes pages at the end of this planner. I think there's just like, sometimes it's just one page. So there are some notes pages, but there's just not enough. There just aren't enough notes pages in here. And honestly, I'm starting to wonder, like I'm gonna finish this planner because I don't want to have wasted my money on this planner from Anthropologie. But if the notebook system, like if I continue to like this as much as I have, I might either get just a very, very simple weekly planner to manage my like day-to-day tasks each week, or I might just shift back. This isn't completely a bullet journal, but it is similar to a bullet journal, and I think I'm getting back to a point where I could use a notebook like this as my planner without feeling like I've got to decorate every page. That was my problem with bullet journals. So if really I'm just needing somewhere to map out an overview of my week and then write down tasks each day, and if I'm doing something like this, for me to be able to have a place to write stuff down for future months, then I might be able to make the system work as like my one and only planner. So we'll see how both planners work out throughout the rest of the year. But so far, I'm really liking this system, and I have so many notebooks. I have so many notebooks. It'd be nice to be able to use them again. But if nothing else, I definitely am feeling like this notebook, second brain dump journal type space is something that I can see myself continuing to do alongside a more traditional weekly, monthly planner. As long as my brain is the way it is, this is going to help. I've also put a couple like quote, like notes, motivational things at the top, things that I found on Pinterest that I just thought this would be a really nice like thing to keep in mind throughout the month. I've got note to self: when things feel overwhelming, remember, one thought at a time, one task at a time, one day at a time. And then another quote image I saw on Pinterest was just because you're struggling doesn't mean you're failing. That really resonated with me because I'm struggling so much right now that I feel like I'm failing, and I do need to remember, and I've added this here in my own words, struggle does not equal, the little equal sign with a slash through it, struggle does not equal failure, because I think this month and next month, I feel like throughout the rest of the semester, I just need to be reminding myself that just because I'm struggling, it doesn't mean I'm failing. And just because I make mistakes, it doesn't mean I'm a failure. I feel like I am internalizing and personalizing a lot of my struggles and a lot of the mistakes that I'm making, and I'm turning them into personal failures and personal attacks on my own character and my own personality, and I need to stop doing that. And if you are doing that, you need to find a way to stop as well, because it's not healthy and it's not accurate. In the end of the month journaling section, just wanted to go over this really quick because I think this might be helpful for some people. I started writing down that I feel like I didn't accomplish much in February, but as I was having that thought, thankfully a more accurate thought popped in, which was, you actually did a lot in February. Like, you did some big things in February. So I just wanted to go through and share the things that I did in February. So in February, I finished draft 1 of Independent Hearts 4, hit 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, published 10 videos / vlogs, mostly vlogs, but there were some sit-down videos mixed in there. Nearly finished the Independent Hearts cover sketch. I am so close. Y'all have no idea. And I'm going to do some more work today, so I'm going to be even closer by the end of February, by the end of today. I read nearly 6 books, 5 3/4 books. I turned 44, which is pretty cool. Mostly prepped B session for work. I got the really big stuff and the hard stuff is done, so there's just some like final checks and reviews and things to do. I wrote 4 newsletters. I FaceTimed and Zoomed with friends. I met up with my girlfriends for my birthday, so I had some like in-person and virtual like friend time, which is really, really important and something I'm not that great at making time for, but I need to be better, and so I feel really proud of myself for doing that this week. I posted semi-regularly on Instagram and on Blue Sky. I'm starting to do more on Blue Sky, especially as a writer and an author. So I'm not sharing like all of my vlogs on there, but anything book or writing related I'm sharing on there, and pictures of my books and things like that. So I'm still figuring out how Blue Sky is fitting into my author platform. I wrote down the number of books that I sold, which I'm not going to share here, but I'm very happy with the number. And I saw a new doctor, and that was huge. Like, it feels weird that that all happened in February. So while there were a lot of like little things that I had wanted to do that I didn't get done, I got a lot of big stuff done in February, and so that's something to be proud of. But on the subject of cover sketching, I need to do some more cover sketch work. So I am nearly done doing the line ink outline tracing drawing of the shop front. I want to get that done today, and then I need to start doing the more polished line sketches of all the little doodles and extra bits that are going to go on the cover, so that I can do the line drawings, the black ink drawings of those this weekend, and then I can get everything scanned, and that will finish out the cover illustration. So it is 4:41, so I'm going to spend the next probably 20 minutes and stop at 5. But I'm going to spend 20 minutes doing some cover sketching. I'm going to continue listening to my nice, relaxing Spring Magic classical music playlist and get some more cover design progress made. It is nearly 7 o'clock. I'm just relaxing, but it is time to wrap up this vlog and then get back to relaxing. Cover sketching earlier went well. I am making lots of progress. I had wanted to be finished with it by today, and that didn't happen. But I will definitely be finished with it by the beginning of spring break, if not before spring break. So like if I don't finish it by the end of next week, I will be able to finish it next weekend, which is the first weekend of spring break. I'm just down to a few little bits that need to be drawn for the cover. Basically the things that will go in the shop window and like in front of the shop. But I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. I had no plan going into this vlog, but I'm glad I did the planning that I did, and that like I feel like I'm set up now for March. I'm glad that the journal is all set up, so starting tomorrow on March 1st, if I have any ideas or things I need to write down, like everything's all set and ready for a whole new month of notes and brain dumping and reflecting and whatever I want to put down in there. And my planner, my weekly planner, is all set for Monday for next week, which is good because next week is going to be very, very busy. So yeah, I'm glad I got the planning I did done today, and I don't know, I'm really trying to be excited for a new season and excited for spring, and I genuinely do love spring. I love all the seasons. I just don't love all the seasons in Arizona. I don't like Arizona seasons because Arizona seasons are just hot and not hot. And we've been enjoying a little bit of not hot, but the majority of the year is hot, and we're now heading back into that weather, and I'm dreading it. I'm trying not to dread it because I can't change the fact that it's getting hotter, so I do have to just accept that. But radical acceptance is not something I'm very good at. And I feel like that is something I have to practice when it comes to the weather here in Arizona. It's just going to be hot, and there's nothing I can do about that. And I just have to live with it and not let it affect me as much as it does. So, you know, I can't control the weather. I can only control my reaction to the weather. So, yeah. So it's looking like the next week is going to be really nice, and then it's going to start warming up again. So we'll see. Throughout March, it's a battle between really beautiful temperatures that still feel a little bit like winter and warmer temperatures that are starting to feel a little bit more like summer. And so those two kind of ends of the spectrum are battling it out throughout March each year. So that's what we're heading into. So I have to enjoy the nice weather while we have it and just accept the hotter weather when that happens. But yeah, so I will try not to talk about the weather too much in the future vlogs, but this is March. Like, March is me just grappling with the weather changes and adjusting to it being spring and basically summer again, and trying to enjoy the last few weeks or several weeks of hiking. And yeah, it's not easy, but it is what it is. So anyway, again, I don't really know what this vlog ended up being, but I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. First of all, if you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, all the typical YouTubey things. I really appreciate that, and it does really help this channel, which then helps me and makes me happy and makes me smile. So those things would be amazing. In the comments, you can leave me some either hiking related emojis or planning related emojis, or some like spring flowers and spring trees, spring emojis. If you are living somewhere cooler, I really hope for your sake that spring comes soon and that your winter is almost ending. For those of you who are in the southern hemisphere, I hope you're enjoying the last days of summer. If I'm getting my seasons correct, I think it's the last days of summer and it's almost autumn for for you. So I hope you're enjoying that seasonal change. So yeah, you can leave me some emojis related to the seasons and planning and all of that stuff to let me know which one of you lovely people have made it all the way to the end of this vlog. And in the comments, you can let me know what is one thing that you are looking forward to about the spring, or if you're Southern Hemisphere, something you're looking forward to about autumn. And I think for me, the thing I'm looking forward to spring break. That is something I'm definitely looking forward to. So that is the one thing in spring that I am absolutely looking forward to. A week off from work and from teaching to just focus on writing, editing, cover sketching, getting all of that finished up, and as well as doing a lot of reading and relaxing and just having fun for the week. And hopefully it'll still be like decent hiking weather, at least in the morning, and getting like a full week, like including the weekends. So that's like 9 days straight of just really lovely hikes. That's what I'm looking forward to about spring arriving. So let me know what you are looking forward to about spring or autumn for you, those of you in the Southern Hemisphere. I am looking forward to reading your answers to that in the comments. And yeah, I will see you all down in the comment section below. On your way down to the comment section, you can also click to open up the description box and sign up for my newsletter, check out my books, all of those things. Follow me on Instagram, would really appreciate that. I need to add my Blue Sky link down there, but I'm just Andrea J. Severson, Andrea Jean Severson. I think I'm the same as Instagram on there. I'll put it up on screen. Find me on Blue Sky if you're on Blue Sky. And yeah, I'm gonna go get back to relaxing, and I will talk to you all very soon in Friday's bonus video, and then I will see you all again on Monday in the next vlog. Thank you very much for watching today. Bye!